Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexandra and I'm the founder and designer of the Essentielle Studio. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through a tool that I use in my business, and that tool is the one and only Notion. I have been a long-time lover of Notion and have been using it so much within my business, and I love that as I've been able to grow as a business, it's been able to help keep me on track with all of my business tasks. So I wanted to share with you guys my setup for how I've been using Notion in my business. And if you're interested in the setup, I'm going to have it available on my website as well as in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get into it. So jumping right into the template, here's what we see when we first get into the homepage. So this template was created with multiple different databases that are all tied together in some different way. So when we first start at the top here, we can see that we have a weekly to-do list, and on the to-do list you will be able to track your statuses as well as the name of that to-do list. You can add in the details of what you need to do. We have a place where we can add in the priority, so that high, medium, and low, as well as a type of to-do. So this is something important because when you're making your to-do list, you want to make sure that you're actually aware of what exactly that to-do is related to. So I have options here for admin, marketing, financial, legal, client work, and client events. And then we have a place here where we have the due date of that to do, as well as a place to link our projects, which is really important. So for example, if you were to set this to a client work, and then you can say that we have our project here, you'll be able to link this project as what to this to-do, and also know that this to-do is for this specific project. So at the top here, we have our to-do list. This is going to be pulling from a global to-do list, and this one is actually being filtered to just show the ones for this specific week. But if you're someone who prefers a daily or monthly to-do list, you can always change this filter to fit your needs. Then coming down further, we're going to see a list of our current projects. So this is just pulling from your projects database, and it's just going to be showing anything that's currently in progress. And as you can see here, I have an example set up for a project that's in progress, and then it has the type of project as well as the dates. And you can always change what type of project that you have. These are just the baseline projects that I set up. So brand design, brand and web, social media, packaging. And if you have other options, or if these are different from what you currently do, you can always go ahead and change those. Next, on the left hand side here, I have a space to add in quick links. So for example, for me, I'd be putting in my website and my Instagram here, but if you had other different types of links that you wanted to add in, you can add these here too, as well as link other pages throughout the template that you want to have on the homepage. So coming down further, we have the section for all of our different areas of the template. So we have a place for our CRM, our revenue tracker, our business offerings, our quarterly planning, and marketing and content. But before we get into that, I did want to touch on the to-do list here. So this is where we have our entire to-do list being stored. So you can add in all of your to-dos here, and then at the top again, they're going to be filtered to whichever one you need, whether that be weekly or daily or monthly. So here's where all of your to-do lists are going to be stored. So this is where you can first enter in anything that hasn't been started yet, but then as you progress along, you can see a tab for your in progress as well as completed tasks. And then there's a calendar view too, so that you can see anything from a bird's eye view of what you have for the entire month or for the week. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the sections. So first, starting out with our CRM. So the CRM section is where you're going to be managing all of your different projects, your clients, your invoices, and things related to all of that. So I'm going to first start here and talk about the client section and then go up to the projects. So in our client database is where we're going to be tracking all of our different clients. So for example, we have our Welly Wellness, where we have the business name. If there's a point of contact, you'd be able to enter that into. So let's say you have multiple people that you're working with on this company, you can enter in their information here. And then for our client, we can then link back all of our different projects. And the reason why I set it up like this is because let's say you have a client that you have more projects with. Rather than creating a new client record, you can have one client record and link back all the different projects to that one client, so you have a better tracking of what projects are for a specific person. So we have that project here. And then we have a place where you can track the time zone. So if you work with clients with multiple time zones, this is relevant here. And you can enter in that email address as well as the website that's relevant too. So again, this is just the baseline level of just tracking your client information. If you want to add more details relevant to your clients and what you track, you are more than welcome to add more columns here. So now that we have our clients out of the way, if we scroll up to the top here where we have our projects list, this is where we can keep tracking of all of our projects. So the way I have this projects database set up is that we have all of our main projects here, as well as being able to track whether that project is a lead or in progress or a completed project. So if I go back to the all clients here, and then click on the status, I have it set up where you can see what are leads, things that are currently booked or onboarding or in progress, and then completed. And then depending on what status that you give each client, they're going to move throughout the different tabs here. Then of course you give your project a name, and then you can say what type of project that is, and then you can enter in the project total here. So right now this is just going to be the total that you're charging for the project. This is not including any type of taxes or things like that. We're going to get into that more on the revenue tracker, but for now you're just going to be putting in how much you're charging for this project project. And then depending on what kind of payment plans you put your clients on, you can say what this is here. So I have it set up so that you can do like a 4-way split, a 3-way split, or a 2-way split. And depending on how much you said is paid here, this is actually going to be used in a calculation that's going to show up on our revenue tab, so you can see how much you're actually needing to owe in taxes and things like that. So moving on to the next column, we have our project dates. So here's where you can enter in the dates for the project. And then we have the relation back to the client, so you can see which projects are tying back to each client. And then with every project, this is an option that I've added in here. So if I open up the project, and as you can see, we have a client dashboard for this project. So this is a completely optional page to use when you're managing your clients. But what this is basically going to be is just a way for you to track internally all the different tasks and things to do for your project. So if you scroll down here, you'll start to see our different sections. So the first one being our different checklists. So you can tailor this to the needs of your business. I have an overview of the scope that I'd be doing for this project. And then for meeting notes, if I wanted to create more meeting notes or just keep track of what's being said on different meetings, I'd be able to create that here. And I can actually click on this new meeting notes button, and it's going to generate a meeting note template for me. And then once that template is generated, if I click into it here, I have a section to add in the agenda topics, my notes, as well as action items that I want to keep track of during the meeting. Going back to the tracker here, if I scroll down further, I'll be able to see a section to where I can add in different to-dos, and this is all going to be listed back to my to-do list on our homepage. But something that we need to make sure that we're doing, especially when we are creating new projects, is just to make sure that we are updating the project. So to do that, just go into the filters here and update it to the project of your new client that you're using this page for. So that is the overview of our client task dashboard. If I go back over to the CRM section, coming down further here, we're going to see section for just templates and invoice tracker. So here's where you'll be able to track all of your different email templates or any type of templates for like contracts or invoices. So this would be a way for you to keep track of your different verbiage. So let's say you're writing emails that are always the same. Rather than constantly rewriting that same email, you can copy and paste that verbiage into here and have it stored, so that when you need to write a certain email, you can just copy in that email information and put that into your email as you're writing it out. And then here on the right hand side, we have a section for our project invoices, and we can link it back to our project. And then with this is just going to be a place for you to actually add in the PDF of your invoice, or if you do things like Dipsado for your invoices, you can put that physical link here as well. So that was the CRM. So coming back into our dashboard here, I'm going to go into our next section, which will be our revenue tracker. So this is a revenue tracker, and when I was first getting started and wasn't using QuickBooks yet, this was definitely a lifesaver to make sure that I was actually tracking my revenue properly. So like I had mentioned earlier, the amount paid category is what's going to allow you to see a different calculation as you're moving throughout your project. So for example, if I were to change this 25% paid to 33% paid, it's going to update our remaining balance based on our project total here. And with this project income, you can see that it's tied back to a client as well as the invoice for this project. So if you scroll down, we can start to see our yearly financial overview. And this section was definitely a game changer to see how much income I'm getting per month and expenses that I'm spending per month, and kind of seeing more of my net profit throughout the year. So as you can see here, we have it split off into different quarters, as well as you can see a monthly view. And then we have a total income column, total expenses column, and then we can see the net profit. And then coming down here is where you can enter in and track your business income and expenses. So entering in the amount. If you are working with the payment processor, you can enter in the processing fees and get an actual calculation for how many taxes you're going to be paying, as well as the actual net income. So I have a calculation here to go by 30% taxes, because in the US, that's what we typically go by when it comes to freelancing. But if you wanted to use a different percentage to calculate your taxes, you can just go in here and update the formula for that new percentage. And then for your income, you're able to tag the month and the invoice. And for expenses, you're able to tag that month and then the project if this expense is related to a project. So this entire yearly financial overview can be reused throughout the year. So it will just be a matter of copying and pasting this section. So to make that copy, all you need to do is come over here and highlight the section. So I have all of the different databases all within this call out box. And then from here, you just want to go ahead and duplicate the section, and then it would make a copy of this entire database. For your new year, you would just go ahead and remove all the different expenses and incomes that you tracked, and then it will just be able to start from new. All right, so that is our revenue tracker. So let's go ahead and head back over to our dashboard. So we're back on the dashboard, and going into our next section, we have the business offerings. So here on the business offering section, this is just going to be a place for you to actually plan out the different services that you have for your business. So as you're coming up with your business services, you want to make sure that you're actually having services that will help the people that you're targeting. So with that being said, there's a target audience section here at the top where you're able to actually write out your different personas and then think through all the different pain points and solutions that you want to provide. And then from there, when you come down to the bottom, here's where you can start to design out your different business offerings. So to create a new business offering, all you would need to do is just click on this create new business offering, and then it gives you a new page that you can actually add to your list. And then along with that new business offering, there's also a template that's been set up here to help you kind of plan out that service. So as we're planning out our new offering, I'm going to go ahead and open up these toggles here, and you can see there's a place to help you kind of ideate this out. So at the top here, you'd add in your description. If you're doing a package, you can list out all the different deliverables that will be within that package. You have a place here to put in the pricing for this service, as well as a place to actually list out and kind of think through the timeline of how long it's going to take to actually get this project completed. So for example, with all my projects, I offer 2 rounds of revision. So I was actually able to plan a project timeline, taking into consideration how long a 2-round revision would be. And then of course, with the project breakdown, if it's going to take longer than 8 weeks, you have the ability to add more rows for your weeks, as well as if you scroll over, you can start to see everything broken out by the days. So that was our business offering section. So going over back to our home page. So back on our home page here, if we come over to the next section, it's going to be our quarterly planning section. So the purpose of this quarterly planning page is to help you think through the goals of your business, as well as make some action steps to actually achieve those goals. And if there's anything that I've learned from running a business, it's to make sure that you're making goals for your business and setting a stage to actually achieve them. So jumping right into it, the first section we see here is a place to list out our goals for the year. So for every goal, you're going to list out what that goal is, why you want to achieve that goal, as well as how you're going to achieve that goal. And then from there, you can go into the actual quarterly planning. So if we start to scroll down, there's going to be a section here where we can enter in our quarterly plans. So I already have it set up so that we have the sections for each quarter, but I have an example here that you can reference as well. We'll make it larger. So here on our example, you can see that we have our reference of those yearly goals at the top. And then coming down, we have a section to where we would enter in what we want to focus on for this quarter. And then based on that focus that you have for the quarter, there's going to be a section further down where you can actually list out the action steps that you want to do to achieve those goals. So that was an example of planning out the quarter. So I'm going to go back into our quarterly planning section. And then on the section at the very end here is where we can create our vision board. So this is just more of a fun thing to add to help you kind of visualize the dreams and aspirations that you have for your business. So the way this was created was just adding in new pages and then having the cover as that image that you want here. Or if you wanted to add the vision board that you had for your business as an image, you can go ahead and add that in as well instead of using this. So that was our quarterly planning section. So we're going to go ahead and head back over to the home page again. And back on the home page, the last section we're going to cover is our marketing and content. So the marketing and content section is going to be a place for you to help plan out all of your different marketing and content that you want to create for your business. If you're a person like me who likes to plan out all the details of your marketing, this has definitely been helpful for that. So starting at the top left here, we have our quick reference. So the first thing is going to be the content planner. And in this content planner, you're able to actually plan out all of your different content posts. So we have our different statuses, the post name itself, as well as the different platforms that we can be posting on. And then we have a section to put in our release date, as well as the pillars that we're going to be putting this under. And also, if you have some quick notes that you wanted to put in about the idea, you have a section for that too. When it comes to the pillars, this is going to be based on the pillars of your business. So these are some examples that I have here. So I'm a graphic design business, so some pillars for me would be some client highlights, education and tips, behind the scenes, inspiration, and product marketing. But of course, you can tailor these pillars to fit your business needs. So as you're planning out your content, there's going to be a template available to use. So if I go ahead and start a new idea, let's say we just want to put this on Instagram. And then if I go ahead and open this up here, as you're starting to plan your new idea, you're going to see a template here that we can click on. So you have an overview section to help you brain dump what the ideas that you have are, and then a to-do list to help you keep track of all the things that you need to do related to that content. And of course, we can't forget the strategy behind the content that we put out. So we have a section here with different prompts to help you kind of think through all of the different ideas that you have. So that's our new section for the ideas. So if we go ahead and go back into our marketing and content tab, after the content planner, we then have just a reference link back to our business offerings. We can quickly reference them again. And then there's going to be a section for a brain idea dump. So let's say you don't really want to put it in your content planning yet, but you just want to go ahead and list out different ideas that you're having as you are going about your day. You can use this page to actually list out all of those ideas and then come back to them later. So going back to our marketing and content tab. So right below our brain dump, we have a section to put in your visual guidelines as well as photography guidelines. So if we open up these here, these are just places to embed those different files so that you have them as a quick reference guide as well. And then coming down to the bottom here, we have our posting calendar. So this is where we can see all of the different posts that we have planned. And we also have a tab here to also filter out only the ones that actually have been posted out. But of course, with this and all the other places within your template, you're able to actually customize this to fit your business needs. So that is our marketing and content. Now go ahead and head back to the dashboard. And with that completes the dashboard tour. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this video very helpful. Like I said in the beginning, using Notion has been a big game changer for my business. If you like this template or are interested in getting it for yourself, that's going to be available on my website, and I'll leave the link for it down below. Also, let me know what your favorite part of the dashboard template was in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and also subscribe if you want to see more content like this. You can also connect with me on Instagram at The Essentielle Studio, as well as visiting my website too. But that's all for now, so I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!